At this time, the Group 1 latches are unhooked. Group 2 currently driving about 1 minute into the 2 minutes of the unhooking process. Everything on track for an on-time undocking, currently scheduled for 1:31 a.m. Central. One minute 45 seconds into the 2 minute process. Everything's still on track. And we have motion. You see Dragon physically separating from the International Space Station, 1:32 a.m. Central Time. The International Space Station, 253 statute miles over Sudan.
Houston Station, space to ground to ISS thrusters enabled.
Copy. So there you can see on your screen visual confirmation. What a gorgeous shot. Dragon has undocked from the International Space Station, and we are beginning the departure.
That's right, and you're going to hear the voice of David St. Jacques again. He's the one inside of the station monitoring Dragon for its departure. It's slowly backing away. Everything's looked good so far with those separation burns. Again, as Gary said, that physical separation, that undocking coming at 11:32 p.m. here Pacific.
Dragon departure burn 0 complete.
Copy, departure burn 0 complete.
So you heard us mention earlier that we have a series of 4 departure burns, starting with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. We have confirmation that departure burn 0 has been completed.
That's right, and so with that one down, we're going to start seeing Dragon begin flying actually above the International Space Station. And then coming up in just a couple of minutes, departure burn 1, the second departure burn. Will be coming. That should be in about 4 or 5 minutes from now. And so we're going to see Dragon just kind of swing its way over top the space station and eventually fly out of both the keep out sphere and the approach ellipsoid. And so the keep out sphere is one of my favorite things. It's an imaginary sphere with about a 200-mile radius, so 200-meter radius. That would be a much bigger sphere. A 200-meter radius in all directions. And that just governs, so kind of like the approach ellipsoid, which I explained earlier, before you're in the keep out sphere, any maneuvers with the spacecraft have to be safe and not get inside within 4 orbits.
Dragon is in the corridor, and opening rate is as expected.
Copy.
And David St. Jacques reporting everything looking good so far. You heard him say the corridors, so they, on their overlays that they have on their laptops on board the station where they're actually monitoring Dragon, they're looking for any perturbations outside of the expected path. If they see anything that doesn't quite look right, again, they're in the loop and they can send commands, but everything going smoothly with Dragon slowly flying away. This kind of an animated representation of the kind of stuff that the crew is looking for. They have that corridor, so kind of that triangular shape you can see there, where they're just looking to make sure Dragon's pitch, yaw, approach, speeds, everything like that are inside of parameters as expected.
In that shot right there, you can see that the nose cone of Dragon is still open. Unlike our CRS missions, we actually maintain that nose cone. We will be closing it prior to Dragon's re-entry.
Copy, 0.55.
Like we mentioned before, the entire departure process is slightly different from the approach process in that there are no hard stops, there are no hold points. Dragon's trajectory will be smooth and continuous as it moves away from the International Space Station and back towards Earth.
And we should be just about 2 minutes or so away from departure burn 1, and that'll be the second of 4 that we're going to be expecting today. And it's actually only going to change Dragon's speed by about 0.6 meters per second. So we're talking very small changes in the speed of the vehicle just to get it away from the space station. But as we talked about a lot during the docking broadcast a little bit earlier this week, keep in mind, Dragon and Space Station are flying at over 17,500 miles an hour right now relative to the Earth. So they're still traveling at these enormous velocities, but then you have these very small thruster firings to barely change the speed of the vehicle, and within just a matter of minutes, you're kilometers or miles away from each other. So
that's a great point. It's really easy to forget that with views like this where everything seems like it's just